everyone, and welcome to Conversations with Candace. I am your host, Candace Paul, author of best-selling novel Spiritual Warfare. And the premise of this show is that you can learn something in one conversation. So we're doing a series on entrepreneurship, and I am here with my cousin. You'll probably recognize the same last name. This is my cousin, and he has his own consulting firm. He does consulting for construction and building permits in D.C., and we're going to talk to him a bit more. So, Leon, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Wonderful. So, we wanted to highlight people who decided to take a leap of faith and do their own thing. So, what prompted you to get out of the 9 to 5 and start your own business?
That's interesting. I had always wanted to, quote unquote, stand on my own 2 feet at some point and start my own. But I was kind of set in the ways of trying to find the perfect time to get it started. And it ended up happening that a client came to me with my first independent contract, my own business. And that's what kind of pushed me out the door to being on my own.
Wow. And sometimes that happens, like the right person comes along and shows you something about yourself that you were like, wait, I can do this.
Right.
Great. That's awesome. So how long have you been doing it now?
In actually July, the third week of July will mark 5 years of me being on my own.
That is awesome. So can you explain a little bit more about your business?
Yes. In the District of Columbia, any construction of any sort requires you to go through a permit process system to actually get any documentation to legally build. All construction is actually legalized and uniformly done under a building code, an international building code. And like every other city, D.C. has this process for you to show that you comply with that code and that you have everything necessary in your design to build a safe building. And my job is to help the construction companies and developers navigate that process and to get all the documents they need to safely build and occupy a building for whatever the use they intend.
So let me ask you this, because I know a lot of people are listening and they're like, well, I probably could do this on my own.
Mm-hmm.
What are the ramifications if you mess up on these very important steps?
Well, the biggest ramification is you can't, you run into those obstacles, those barriers where you cannot build because you don't have the proper documentation. And you may be able to do it yourself, but you'll end up doing it in a time frame that is just not conducive to you getting any financing or actually getting the project done. There's so many steps and nuances and obstacles and different moving parts to the process that a person who's never experienced it before could go in there with a simple project and be in the system for over a year, maybe 2 years.
Wow.
Whereas as an experienced consultant can come in and show you all the proper steps, know everything that's necessary, and understand those points, and you can be out in 3 to 4 months.
See, and that's a huge difference, and especially when you're trying to get a project off the ground and just move on with your life. You know, it's a difference between a few months and a few years. Wow.
Exactly. And finances are never forgiving. They don't really want to hear that, oh, I'm just learning it. You should have got somebody more experienced to work with you.
Exactly. Nobody cares. Exactly.
Nobody cares when it comes to their money. Nobody cares.
So what are the type of construction contracts you often see people coming to do in DC, for example?
For me, I've dealt with everything from an addition on a single-family home to expand a home, maybe add a sunroom and add some features to a home and renovate, all the way to a new office building on the waterfront.
Wow. And that whole area is changing, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That is awesome.
I've run the whole gamut, so.
That is great. And so how has it been for you being a black owned business? Do you find that you get a lot of support? Um, what's been your experience?
Um, my experience has been that I've noticed that there are some things that I get passed over on. I don't even get opportunities to try for. But I also noticed that there's within the community, like within the group of us that do the same thing, there's a good amount of support just for individuals. If we kind of look out for each other, I think we share information. There's enough work for everybody. So in that respect, it's not a cumbersome thing. But in general, there's a lot of microaggressions and things you got to look for that you would have to with any position as a black male. So
Exactly. Totally understand that. And so, apart from your business with the consulting firm, what about your passion? I know that you are a DJ and you love music. So, can you talk about that as well?
well, yeah, I am. I would say I'm a music lover who expresses it through DJing. Been collecting records before I was DJing, collecting music before I even started. But in college, I got brought to the college radio station where I went to school and just got addicted to the whole idea of radio and DJing. And then from there, I just maintained it and have been DJing ever since. And I've even started to go back into radio, internet radio, and it definitely is my passion, but it's also my calming force when I need it. Like when I need to escape a lot of frustrations and things of that nature, I go to music. So it's a very necessary and big part of me.
That's awesome. And we all have those outlets, you know?
Yeah, you
So
need them.
so what is one bit of entrepreneurship advice that you would give a person, and then what's some life advice that you would give a person starting out?
Entrepreneur advice. Definitely, from an entrepreneur side, you have to learn, even if you're working by yourself, to seek help and advice from more experienced people.
Yes.
You have to learn. You can't just think that I'm going to research it on my own and do everything. I'm going to do the accounting. I'm going to do everything myself. No, you need to seek the advice of more experienced people and seek and heed it.
Yes, listen.
listen, because there's every day of entrepreneurship, it seems like there's going to be something that you're going to learn or something different. There's rarely a time where you just sit back and it just works just like the blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
You got to always be ready for the slight difference in this case versus that case versus that case. So, like, when it comes to those things that are not under your, because even if for me, my background is in engineering and architecture and stuff. That part of it I'm good at, but when it comes to billing, financing, scheduling meetings, website design, all of those other things that are included that are necessary for a business, I'm not an expert at it, and I need to seek those people who know that well and get their advice. Yeah, the right people. Yeah,
exactly. And life advice.
The life advice. Okay. The life advice kind of goes with business too, but the life advice is this: when doing business, there's so many things that you hear and discuss with people. Do your best not to take things personal with people that you're not personal with. To be clear, like, everybody's working, everybody's got deadlines, everybody's got frustrations. If somebody holds you up, if somebody wastes your time or something like that, you definitely take the steps to get that situated, to get that rectified, to get what you get done. But never take that as a personal attack on yourself. They don't know you.
Got you. And that is so important because it's hard for people not to take things personally, and this is
Right,
just
right.
business. Exactly. Okay, so now we're going to include all of your information, your contact information in the description, but do you want to shout out a place that people can contact you immediately?
Yeah, sure. My website is www.ellisandleon, P as in Paul, consultservices.com. And you're able to use the contact form just to send me an email with your name and phone number, whatever information you need to get to me there.
That is wonderful. Well, thank you so much for talking with us and taking the time to speak with us today. And everyone, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who's interested in construction, remodeling a home, anything like that. So make sure that you tag them, and we will see you next time. Thank you.